Otherworld, episode 5, Village of the Motor Pigs. This one, the family ends up in another province, and in this province, they're first start off, they're in the back of some guy's truck, and the daughter, Gina, ends up telling the driver their entire story under the premise it's somebody else, and it gives them a chance to do a quick flashback sequence. So basically, filling the audiences, and which is something they do multiple times in the show. And they end up in a colony of sorts. Well, first they get pulled over by the guards, and they have to find a way to escape. And they end up escaping and ending up with a colony of these drug addicted people who are all under the power of this one guy. And that's what the family has to do this week is they get basically kind of put into some kind of servitude. I don't want to say slavery because they weren't treated too horribly, but they were put into a level of servitude, and they are kept apart, but they end up finding a way to get back together and finding a way to continue on their journey while also helping these people by taking down their leader and hopefully leading to them getting clean off of the chalk, which is what they called the drum that they were taking.
I want to do one correction really quick to what you're saying. It wasn't the daughter wasn't telling the story about saying it was somebody else. She was saying that it was her father, who was an author, who was writing a book about it.
Yeah, saying it was other people. Okay, well, yeah, he was okay. So if you are talking about her father writing a story, but basically being it's their story, and it was a chance for them to probably make up some time editing wise and making a flashback sequence. But Matt, go ahead.
All right. So I have to be one that says the two words everybody's gonna say about this episode. It's Mad Max inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's cool. They pulled it off well, it wasn't just, total ripoff. It was cool. Let's see. The one thing that kind of shocked me is for like a primetime kind of show or whatever, that they were implying that the girl was going to be assaulted. I don't know if this is going to get us like stricken if we say the R word or whatever, but yeah, it was pretty kind of freaky, and then I don't know if that's like a stupid, like dude's kind of point of view that some ultra creepy dude can turn out to be a good guy, or if that's incredibly, extra well-rounded forward thinking or not. I don't know. One of those. But yeah, it's cool. The dude that was like the creepiest by far turns out to be the guy that saves them. So that's pretty cool. I like that. What else? And the actor that played the was it the guy that worked with the dad or whatever that also helped them? That actor, he had this kind of look where I'm like, I'd seen him somewhere. He played like an undead person or a dead person or something. He totally looked like that. And I had to look through his IMDb, and I found he was on Ghost as a ghost. That's probably where I saw him like that. But
Are you talking about Vincent Schiavelli?
Yeah.
Yes, Vincent Schiavelli, the real star of 3 O'Clock High, the real star of Game Over.
I see. I thought he was talking about nerds.
No, yeah, isn't that the one who's like going after Gina the entire time? No,
the older guy, older dude. Okay. Who kind of looks like he kind of half dead. He's got these sunken in like dark rings around his eyes.
Yeah, no. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure you're talking about Vincent Schiavelli because he's becoming a favorite of mine because he's in a lot of stuff that we review.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah, he's been in a Bond movie. He was on like an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He was in a video game for Sega CD. He's like Vincent Schiavelli is one of those guys. Like once you start noticing him, you start seeing him everywhere.
Yeah, and it was that I know I'd seen him as a ghost somewhere, and he was a ghost in the movie Ghost.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He does a lot of you might have seen him. Did you ever play Corpse Killer?
No.
Oh, he's in Corpse Killer for Sega CD. That's also the footage that they use in the movie Game Over.
Huh. Yeah, he was awesome. I love him. He brings so much to that role.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good. You guys can go ahead.
Okay. So last on episode 4, I said that episode 4 was both the worst episode and the best episode of the series. Episode 5 is the worst episode and the worst episode of the series. I did like how it began with where they were, hiding in the truck. It's very Star Wars-ish. With
Like, yeah, they're like stuck in the Millennium Falcon. Yep.
yeah. But I really feel bad for the guy that was driving because he didn't realize until last minute the situation that he was in, and he gets screwed over as well in this situation. But after that, it becomes just this, like Matt mentioned, with the Mad Max feel to it, where it's just basically anti-cult, which isn't. I mean, it's for this series. That's not a bad thing because the series is pulling these different extremes and really emphasizing them and how they work. Because this is something you may want to look into, Ben, is Ploopy 678 put out a video about something that Netflix posted where they talked about this cult in South Korea that's gotten so big. What it is they recruit these people by fooling them into what they're recruiting them for. She had a survivor on the episode who was talking about how he went in to learn how to play bass, and the person who was teaching him was sliding in scripture from the Bible of this cult, to where all of a sudden eventually the bass lessons got kind of cast out for now the scripture. And they talked about how these cults work and how this is like a really big person in South Korea who went to jail for this, because what he was doing was he would pull out the women that he liked the best and basically say, now you're going to go through this cleansing ritual where basically you're going to sleep with me. And he had like thousands and thousands.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that cult.
Yeah, I think it's like JLS or something like that. And he ended up going to jail. Then he got out and he started doing it again. And it's all under all these different names. So it's the idea of putting a cult in this series isn't a bad thing. I just didn't think it was done well because they put in chalk, and there's other ways that cults work, not through drugs, but through like sleep depravity, and cutting off communication, all these other ways to brainwash the individuals rather than this kind of this cheesy, you got to drink the drug, you got to do the do, man, type of stuff. So I think that's good. Was that?
I was saying, and the only family member that actually ended up doing it was Trace. The rest of them, they stayed away from it, even though it was like offered to them like over and over again.
Even the father who fell for it on the island.
Yeah. And that's like another thing. It's like, so in the island, like the father falls for it, and now we're in this situation, and it's Trace that falls for it. And I mean, we only got 3 episodes left, but it makes me wonder, like, is there going to be like one where like the mom falls for something, or
I was going to say the son falls for it because it seems like the guys are the ones that are falling for it.
yeah, but here what Trace already does, he falls into the drunk thing.
No, the younger son.
Oh, the little boy, I forget
The
about
little boy. Hey,
he had nothing to do in this episode, so I completely forgot about him.
hey, little boy, come over here. I got something for you. It's called Doom.
I didn't even catch this, but when I was looking at some trivia stuff about the cast, the kid, the actor that played the kid is the same one as the pilot, and only those 2 episodes is that same actor, because this was part 2 of the pilot.
Yeah, that was something that I was going to talk about, where episodes 3 and 4 could go anywhere, but this one feels like this should have been like episode 3. Or now you're saying it was part 2 of the pilot, then it should have been episode 2. Because they really move the story, they move the story along, and they talk more about what they're doing, and even like the whole part where in the beginning where Gina's basically recapping everything that's happened so far. She only recaps the first episode. She doesn't recap anything else.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
It's like my dad's writing the story, and then they end up on Fantasy Island, and then me and my brother, the son and daughter become rock stars. And also nobody's like, hey, look, aren't you Trace and Gina? I have your album. Nobody's saying that.
Well, that was only within that specific province.
Oh, that wasn't like a worldwide
sensation. Yeah. I think they covered that.
Yeah. They like again, I bring up the whole thing of it's just very Quantum Leap meets Sliders type of thing where every week has nothing to do with last week.
That's kind of the mid-80s.
Yeah, it has something to do with last week, but not much. Where they move the overall story gets moved a little bit, and every week it's the place of the week.
Well, the thing, you got to go back to the mentality of the 80s at that point, because it was only airing at one specific time. So it was something that's easy to miss. And if it's something, whereas today you have all this stuff that you can just sit and stream so people can follow ongoing stories. But back then, if you miss one episode, you're lost in the story. You're mostly likely going to tune out that series.
And that's why they did so much to explain everything at the top of every episode. Whether it be like as part of the credits, or if it was like, Gina telling the bus driver everything that's happened. There's always a recap of some sort. And it's because the premise of it is kind of hard to wrap your head around for some people. Like, you get it, we get it. We watch Quantum Leap. We watch Sliders. I don't know if you guys watch Sliders, but I watch Sliders. I watched all these shows that already have a similar idea before. So I don't need the idea driven through my head. But some people, like Grandma, who's never seen a show like this before, but maybe she thinks the hell's cute or whatever, so she watches it. But she needs to be told the premise over and over again, because you just know why the fuck every episode everything's different. It's like, but yeah, and it's good that they explain it. But it's still like I think a lot of the problem with the show and what might have led to it being canceled is the fact that it is a pretty hard premise to wrap your head around if you're not used to that level of sci-fi already.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also that it's bringing in all these extremities that people aren't ready to really just sit and watch I think it was airing like on a Thursday night at 8 p.m. People are just going to they just got done watching Family Matters and Full House.
And
was that at the same time?
I don't, okay, maybe, I don't know what Growing Pains maybe was on, and The Wonder Years or something.
And probably like me, they didn't catch the first episode. And they're like, okay, it's just a family in some weird place.
Yeah.
And maybe like they just saw Mad Max and think, well, is this the Mad Max series? Did they base the show off of Mad Max? I mean, they base the show cause these would be the same people who would watch it and be like, well, they based the show off of Star Wars and they called it Battlestar Galactica, so maybe this is off of Mad Max and they just call it Otherworld.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can see somebody who doesn't know any difference getting confused easily with this show. Especially since, 1 week they're at Fantasy Island, and then the next week it's a rockumentary, and then the next week they're in Mad Max, and where are they going to go next,
The moon.
The moon.
Oh, you know what? I haven't been paying much attention. Have you caught have they been changing around the editing?
No, this editing looked exactly like it did in the other episode. It's only in that rock and roll episode where the editing looks different. And I do think it was because they just maybe because it's a rock and roll episode and they were having fun with it. Who knows? That episode might have been recorded after they already knew they were getting canceled.
Yeah, very likely. Yeah,
and that's when you experiment. You're like, shit, we're getting fired anyways.
Let's make them pay for a lot of copyrights.
Yeah. Let's destroy our budget. Let's make it so this show can never be released on videotape or DVD. What's a DVD? Don't worry about it.
They're going to have to remaster it. Well, what's remastering? That'll come later.
It'll come later. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I think that the only thing we talked about this last week with the rock and roll, with the last episode with the rock and roll thing. It's like that is probably the thing that's stopping whoever owns this. I think it's Universal from releasing it.
Mhm.
I put all the episodes up on one of my channels, Blu-ray extras, which is why I completely I keep linking to it, my channel. I put them all up there, and I got a copyright notice for every single one of them, and every one of them said the same thing. They allow this on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, because they're not releasing it. They're not doing anything with it.
Hmm.
Nobody's out looking for Otherworld other than us. I wish they would.
Or what?
I wish they would re-release it and put it on Peacock or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should totally.
Because it's not a bad show. The figure I can see holes in it. That's just me looking at it. It's like with the question of why did they cancel this?
Mhm.
You know, there's probably some really interesting stories in some of these old shows like this where something can be completely abandoned because of some lawsuit or whatever, and makes me think of one of those properties you see on a busy street that never got developed. It's just like there's nothing there, like a field or something, and we're like, somebody owns that, but it's been in like some kind of legal limbo and they just gave up on it.
Or just like an empty, beat up building on the corner.
Yeah, same idea. As as long as it's somebody has given up on trying to even get that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I could understand that, and you see that all the time. Like a store goes out of business and the sign's still up, like years later, at the store, and it's just because it costs more money to take the sign down than what it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else have anything to add?
Nope.
All right. So then, Ben, who gets the last word for this?
The last word. Let's give it. I think Matt's been doing the last word every week.
Yeah, that's fine with us.
Go ahead.
Thunderdome.